Hi everyone, my name is Raiji Tozani Nguna. I'm a student number is 25, 34, 32, and 63. So we chose acting option 2 and we will be talking about chapter 5, the beginning of new life, and I'm with.
My name is Ikweta Wandeme. My student number is 25324722. I'm gonna contribute by being the interviewee. He's going to ask me a couple of questions based on chapter 5. I'm gonna be answering the questions.
Welcome everyone to Let Us Talk Show. So today we are having a guest, Mr. Wandeme Sikweta. So I'll let him to introduce himself.
My name is Wandeme Sikweta. It's good to be in the show. I graduated at the University of Victoria. I was doing BA in psychology.
Wow, that's nice. BA in psychology. We didn't know that, Mr. Sikweta. It's nice to hear that. So, into this topic, we'll be talking about the beginning of new life. Mr. Sikweta, we're having a lot of curiosity about this topic. We're having a lot of questions, and I believe that as a graduate of psychology, you'll be able to answer this kind of questions that we have. So, the first question is, what do they mean when they say the beginning of new life?
When you have to look at the beginning of your life,
Mm.
you have to look at the process of embryogenesis. Basically, embryogenesis is the development of a zygote.
Mm.
So initially, you will have a sperm and the egg. Two are gonna merge, and then they're gonna form something called a zygote. Then the zygote is gonna go under a series of processes, and then it's gonna turn into an embryo. Then the embryo is gonna continue those series of processes up until it reaches the stages where the baby forms. So that's where I think the beginning of life. That's where I think it all starts.
Okay, now we do understand that, Mr. Sikweta. At least I do have a clue. But if we can look at this topic, Mr. Sikweta, it's having a lot of ups and downs. Many theories have been created by experts, but we still don't understand what do they mean about the genes and DNAs. So can you please explain what do they mean about those things, Mr. Sikweta?
Oh yeah, in order to understand the concepts of genes and DNA, you first have to look at chromosomes. So a baby or a normal human being is supposed to have 46 chromosomes, 23 from the mother and 23 from the father. Our chromosomes, basically, these are components that are inside of our body. Chromosomes are made up of genes, and genes are made up of DNA. DNA, which contains the hereditary information and controls our traits.
Wow, you mentioned the very important thing, traits. So we know that, Mr. Sikweta, a human, for instance, like a baby, consists of two different traits. The parents' traits, like the mother's side and the father's side. So what we want to know about is how does it come about that there will be a dominant trait? Which one is dominating between the father's trait side or the mother's side? So can you explain that, Mr. Sikwet?
Yeah, when it comes to dominance, it is completely random which one between the father and the mother, which traits are going to be dominant. That's where you have to look at the concepts like dominant genes and recessive genes. So you might find, let's say, two people.
Yeah.
They have a child, and then you might find that the child looks more like the mother more than the father. A way to explain this would be that the father did donate his DNA and the traits to the child, but they are recessive, meaning that only the mother's genes are gonna be visible on the outside, which is the phenotype, meaning that the father's genes are present, but then they're just recessive. They're not visible. They are there, but then they're not visible.
I think I'm having great understanding, Mr. Sipeta. I love the fact that you are mentioning very important things. So now, Mr. Sipeta, there's this concept of, it's not even a concept, it's something that is visible to our community, things like cognitive disorder. So we grew up I personally grew up in a community that there is a person who's having a disorder. But the problem is, Mr. Sequeta, those people, they are excluded from the communities because we lack education about what are disorders. So, can you please explain this concept of disorder?
Reggie, when you look at the concept of cognitive disorders, talking, let's take a disorder like Down syndromes for instance.
Yeah, that's one. That's one.
Down syndrome, it happens when during the process of embryogenesis, you might find that during the distribution of chromosomes, it happens that the child receives an extra chromosome. That causes complications since a person is supposed to have 46 chromosomes. So when a child consists of 47 chromosomes, it then leads to the disorder called Down syndrome. So in terms of our society, I feel like if people are educated and they are aware how Down syndrome comes about, how it happens, the person who has Down syndromes, it's not like it was their fault.
Okay.
It happened. It's a genetic error. It happened. So us as the community, by excluding them, it doesn't seem right. It is not right. It is not acceptable. We should not do it. We should educate our youth and the community about this type of genetic or cognitive disorders.
That's what I like about. You mentioned very important thing about the disorder. So we understand clearly about the chromosomes, Mr. Sequeta, and disorder. So what are other factors that can cause disorder beside the chromosome, Mr. Sequeta?
Oh yeah, there are plenty of other factors that can interfere with the baby's cognitive development. You take factors such as the mother's environment, the mother's behavior. You might find that in some cases you have a mother who drinks alcohol or takes drugs that can it can hinder the baby's cognitive development or completely disturb it.
Wow. Okay, we understand, Mr. Sequeta. So, do you think that there is a time when babies are affected by those environmental issues? Like when, do you think that?
Oh yeah, the damage or the impact of those factors, they're not always like evident at birth. Sometimes it may take time to be visible. So it's not always like the case where the moment the baby is born, there's a problem with the cognitive capabilities. It might take time, maybe months, maybe 2 years to show that they do have a cognitive problem that is caused by those factors.
Yes, Mr. Suketa, you know I love this topic. I even done my theory before we can even talk. There's this theory I've learned about these few weeks, and that is also this environmental issues can happen in later stages of birth, before you can give birth, around 18 months, Mr. Suketa. Yeah, just to share information. So, Mr. Suketa, do you believe that this thing can be introduced in the education system, that they must be taught in early stages, like it can be part of maybe the life orientation curriculum?
Yes, I do believe that such information needs to be integrated with our current syllabus. Or for us as student teachers, we need to be aware, because like as teachers, we are going to be exposed to a teaching environment where we are going to have different learners with different cognitive capabilities. So I think it will be essential for us as teachers and schools to understand why some the children are the way they are cognitively,
Mm.
the factors that could have led them to them being that way. That way we can find ways to try to assist them and to get better results academically.
Mm. Mr. Sikweta, I'm so sad that I have to let you go right now. Oh, because we're having a nice talk and a nice topic on the Let Us Talk show. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for joining us on this episode of Let Us Talk show. And let's clap hands for our guest, Mr. Wandeme Sikweta.